As the year comes to a close, and the winter months set in, most of the motorsport calendar starts to fade away. But as the snow keeps falling, and boredom seeps in, motorheads start scheming up a new breed of mischief, by creating a new test of motoring prowess in ice racing. Slipping and sliding across the snowy tracks for a little fun in the off-season, ice racing is as old as motorsport itself. Racing in the snow gave a brand new challenge for all drivers looking for something to do in the quiet parts of the year, and as a result bringing a rise in seasonal events forming around the spectacle of ice racing that attracted the ire of drivers and fans alike from all disciplines and skill. But there was one event that was touted as the world's premier ice race that now lays mostly forgotten: the 24-hour sur glace de Chamonix. At the base of Mont Blanc lays the cozy French alpine town of Chamonix, the home of the first Winter Olympics. One day, race organizer Remy Dupois decided it would make the perfect destination for a yearly ice race, due to it receiving at least 2 months of essential snowfall yearly. Originally referred to as the Ronde Hivernale de Chamonix, it would have its debut running in 1970 on the Circuit du Grapon, a 1.3 kilometer snow-covered asphalt track that is predominantly used as an ice racing school every other day of the season. Running in rallycross style heats and racing over the course of a weekend, the event was not yet the 24-hour race it would later become known for, but it was still a massive hit. As the ice acted as the great equalizer between machinery, the race earned a lot of praise from all drivers, as it became known as a true test of car control and skill across the icy circuit. On top of this, with every heat that was run, and as the car's studded tyres slide through the snowy base deformed, as the studs cut and churned through the ice and snow, making slush, water and snowy ruts, sometimes even revealing the asphalt below, creating ever-changing racing conditions for each competitor to tackle. The event quickly grew into one of the motoring world's niche treats, and swiftly gained the attention of amateur and professional drivers alike, with drivers from rally, endurance, touring, and formula racing all looking to test their steel across the show of Chamonix. One of these amateur racers was Parisian Franz Hummel. While studying at the Chamonix Ice Driving School in 1972, that played host to the Ronde Hivernale de Chamonix, he decided to join in for the third running of the event. Piloting a rented Renault 16, Franz would come in impressive third place in the national class. But more importantly, he'd be introduced to the founder Remy Dupois. The pair hit it off, and would eventually end up working together in organising ice races around the world, including at Chamonix, rebranding their beloved Ronde Hivernale de Chamonix to the 24 Hours sur Glace de Chamonix, taking the racing into the night from 1973 onwards, and becoming France's second most popular 24-hour race. Now I have a small confession to make. The title of 24 Hours is a bit of a stretch. You see, the race was actually split into several heats per category over a 24-hour period. Again, akin to a day-long rallycross format, with any spare time being filled by showcases, other racing categories, and the occasional snowball fight. So not your traditional 24-hour race. Each heat would take approximately 30 minutes, with a 5-minute window in the middle for the mandatory driver swaps to take place, with elimination races run through the day and night, whittling down the competitors into semi-finals, and ultimately the grand finals to crown the victors the next day. Over the decades, the 24 Hours of Chamonix became a must-see winter motorsport event, due to its fun-loving spectacle of iconic 70s machinery drifting, sliding, and spinning across the snow, along with the rough door-to-door racing each competitor relished in, on top of the completely unpredictable nature of ice racing, such as what happened to Bjorn Voldegaard in the 1972 running of the event. Starting in second place in the finals with his trusty Citroën DS, Voldegaard was fighting off the line for the lead, but tragedy would strike during a corner a quarter of the way through the race, as his front right tyre would explode, leaving him vulnerable to those behind. But being relegated to 3 wheels couldn't stop the legendary Voldegaard from fending off the drivers behind and still finishing second. However, in 1978, the 24-hour race would run into the bad kind of unpredictable. Leading up to the event, a fatal avalanche hit the region and left Chamonix scarred, and with the ominous threat of more avalanches in the future, the 24 Hours of Chamonix was cancelled, sending the event into a long 5-year hiatus to reorganise and reset before its eventual return in 1984. Just in time for the technological revolutions of 4-wheel drive trains and the infamous Group B machinery. With the event's comeback in 1984, it was met with a new class of top-level machinery and drivers looking to test their steel over the snow of Chamonix, with Group B machines like Peugeot 205s, Audi Quattros, MG Metros, Citroen Visas, Ford RS200s, and Lancia Deltas starting to flood into the competition. But it wouldn't be a walk in the park for these machines, as they would have to compete against the strong production cars of the time, namely the Matra Morenas, Porsches, and especially the BMWs. Surprisingly, out of all the Group B cars that raced at Chamonix, it was the humble Citroen Visa 1000 Pista that did the best. Despite only scoring a top finish of 8th place in the World Rally Championship in 1985's Monte Carlo Rally, it would go on to win 2 24 Hours of Chamonix consecutively, including a win while being piloted by Jean-Pierre Marcheur and the race organizer Franz Hummel, the only time he'd win his own race in the top category. And with the event operating outside the FIA's oversight, the 24 Hours of Chamonix provided a safe haven for the Group B cars, even after its eventual ban from global competition, allowing Group B to live just a little bit longer until it started getting bested by newer machinery heading into the 90s, with survival of the fittest closing the chapter on Group B at Chamonix by the mid-1990s. The 1990s would bring a big change in the 24 Hours of Chamonix, as it would join the debut season of the Andros Trophy, along with 3 other snow circuits, creating a national French ice racing championship, bringing with it renewed investment along with more attention to the 24-hour race. The start of the 1990s also brought a new feature to the race, as a hill climb was introduced on the Fridays leading up to the race weekend. Sprinting up the surrounding mountains, the hill climb was used as an initial qualifier to set the field order for the first round of heats. Heading into the 2000s, the 24 Hours sur Glace de Chamonix was unfortunately coming to a close, with the grim reaper of all unique motorsports rearing its head once again, financial trouble, compounded with milder winters and global warming, leading to, and I'm quoting from the event's wiki page here, chronic lack of snow. The upcoming 2004 event was forced to be cancelled after 30 years of running. But just as all hope seemed lost, in 2012, there was an attempt by Franz Hummel to revive the lost event. Under the new name, Master de la Glisse Classique, it was remodeled and relocated to be a historic ice racing event modeled after the 24 Hours sur Glace de Chamonix. Moving the event to Canada for more reliable weather and conditions for ice racing, they planned on recreating the layout of the Circuit de Crépon at Montreal's ICAR circuit to revive the event. However, due to the lingering effects of the 2008 Great Recession and subsequent loss of interest from competitors, the event was postponed and later cancelled, again, bringing a final end to the 24 Hours sur Glace de Chamonix, once and for all. Hey guys, hope you liked this shorter video. Unfortunately, there was not a lot of stories from this event, which is a bit of a shame because I think it's pretty cool from the little I did find and think it deserves a bit more notoriety. So if you know any more cool stories from the 24 Hours of Chamonix, leave them in the comments below. I hope I've done a good amount of justice with what I could find. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe for more and have a Merry Christmas.